Tenebrous Tingles.
Welcome back to Tenebrous Tingles. I hope wherever you are is warm, because for me it is not. Zandi,
It's not warm for me
or
today
warmer,
either.
but yeah,
It's warmer, but
warmer. Today we are drifting into the strange whispers of Georgia folklore. What are you doing?
I have two. I am
Okay.
doing Talbot County Werewolf and Pirate's House.
Very cool. In deference to our lovely Grish from the Florida adventure, he brought up that we haven't done a lot of cryptids. It's been a lot of hunting. So I did a cryptid for this one, and I went with the, I'm so sorry to those who know how it's pronounced. I'm gonna try. I went with the Altamaha, otherwise known as the Watcher of the Altamaha River. So, do you want to do your werewolf, and then I'll do my cryptid, and then we'll do your pirate house?
Yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
Okay.
So, the Talbot County Werewolf, her name is Emily Isabella Burt, and she's from Talbot County. It is a rural county south of Atlanta. It's between Macon and Columbus. And this is from the 1800s.
Okay.
The Burt family was a wealthy and prominent family in Talbot County. They had several children. There was Sarah, Mildred, Emily Isabella, and Joel. Mrs. Burt was widowed when she was 37, and she inherited a pretty nice estate from her husband. They did pretty well, even though she was widowed pretty young. Emily Isabella apparently was a problem child. She looked more like her dad. She had really dark hair and bushy eyebrows. And it said that she had sharp white canine teeth that made her smile a little disturbing. And there's one report that Emily Isabella's mother took her to a local dentist to see if they could be done anything about her sharp, pointy teeth. And the dentist is like, no, they're fine.
That does seem odd. Like, you'd think that there could be things to be
Yeah, but
done, like a pretty simple fix.
this is the 1800s. I'm not sure I really would have wanted a dentist to do anything to my teeth in the 1800s, because it's not like they
Oh
had
no. God, no.
amalgam to
But
fix
they
it.
didn't know that then. Like, it's people in the future could probably look back at our time and be like, oh, I wouldn't want anyone to touch me medically.
Yeah.
And, they'd be right because they know better. But, like, they didn't know better then. Like, that's what they knew.
I'm pretty sure they knew that if they filed their teeth, that the teeth would rot faster.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
They weren't stupid. They just didn't have the technology to do anything about fillings or anything like that. They did understand that these were bad things. They had toothbrushes and everything at that point in time.
Well, of
So,
course.
yeah. So it wasn't like they were completely at a loss for any kind of what could be done, but they did not file teeth and do veneers or anything like that. So the dentist said no. I'm sure that there were probably less ethical dentists who would have done something, but this guy apparently had some ethics and did not damage her teeth because her mom didn't like the way they looked. At some point, Emily Isabella fell ill, and she suffered from very restless sleep and sleepwalking. And the only thing that seemed to make it a little bit better was they gave her kind of a laudanum tonic to sleep, but of course, laudanum is an opiate, and that's not a good thing. Also, you develop an immunity. So it wasn't foolproof, and some nights Emily Isabella would still sneak out and roam the countryside.
Was she sleepwalking, or she was just taking a walk because she was awake?
It's not really clear whether it was one or the other. It could have been both, but I don't know for sure which one it was. I didn't find information saying which one it actually was. She also had a fondness for reading, which her mother approved of because it meant that she stayed home and read in the family library, so her mom knew where she was. But she was pretty interested in paranormal books and books on the supernatural, which her mother did not like, but there were tons of them in the family library because that's what the house was like, and that's what she inherited from her husband. The legend states that there was one of her sisters had a boyfriend named William Gorman, and he told Mrs. Burt that something was killing his sheep. And he was fearful that it would be happening to the rest of his animals, and Mrs. Burt was afraid it would happen to her animals. And on later visits, Gorman told more stories about how it was killing his cows now too, and he was concerned about the killings. So he decided he was going to be putting together a group of locals, like kind of a posse, I guess, and they were going to shoot and kill whatever kind of beast it was that was doing the damage. So it could have been like a rogue wolf or coyotes or even like large dogs. They will kill animals if they can when they pack up like that. So that's what they were thinking, was that it was some sort of animal. And so they gathered some people up. They were going to stay up all night and figure out what it was. And they were going to just shoot whatever beast was doing the damage. Emily Isabella was unusually interested in what was going on, wanted to know everything about the hunt for the animals.
Would that really have been that unusual, though, to
No.
be interested in it? Like,
Not really.
I don't think that's...
It doesn't seem that weird to me, but it was noted.
Okay.
It was noted. So apparently Mildred was also interested, the mom was also interested, and she had inherited several guns and was apparently a pretty good markswoman with her pistol. So she was going to join in, and she stayed up at night. She wanted to be prepared for whatever was going on. So she's in the area sitting up with her gun, trying to see if the creature, the beast, went after her animals. So there was a beast, and it lunged for her, and she fired, and it ran away. The next morning, it was reported that Emily Isabella was missing her left hand.
Oh my goodness.
So
Like, just missing
her left hand.
How did she not bleed out?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, how did this girl not bleed to death? Because that is, wow.
That's substantial.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of arteries that go to your hands. Her mom is like, oh no, your hand is missing, and took her to a local... took her to a...
Oh no.
Oh no, your hand is gone.
It's not funny.
No, it's not funny if it's true, but also, oh no, your hand is gone.
Oh no. Okay.
Can you imagine just waking up and your child is like, hey mom, my hand is missing.
No.
Right? Your child coming to you the next morning, not even waking you up in the middle of the night. Just, mom, my hand's gone. Just sitting at the breakfast table eating with her left hand. I don't know. Darling, why are you eating with your left hand? Oh, my right one's missing.
What did Emily say had happened? Because surely there is a story.
There is no story. She did not say what happened.
It's just gone.
It's just gone. It is just gone.
Whoops. I dropped my pocketbook and my hand as well.
Overnight.
Oh, gosh.
So her mom decided, I'm going to take you to a doctor. And then...
Fair.
I guess to deal with the... Yeah, to deal with this whole missing hand situation. I mean, at least her mother was responsible in that aspect. Then her mother decided that she's going to send her to Paris to be treated by a doctor there who specialized in lycanthropy, which is a disorder that makes victims think they're werewolves, not actually lycanthropy that makes people into werewolves. So we think she thought it was a psychological situation and not physically actually turning into a werewolf. Whichever was true, we don't know.
I just feel like that's not the biggest issue.
I mean, it might be a pretty big issue if she's running around at night attacking sheep and cows.
Well, she's missing a hand, so how much damage can she do at this point?
Well, so here's the thing. While she's in Paris, the attack stopped. And once she returned, supposedly cured, the attacks resumed, but were pretty minimal. So she was apparently still...
Oh, she was slowed down by the missing hand.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know whether anything actually, the doctor did anything for her, but or the hand did. But either way, the attacks were minimal as compared to
How did you
not
become a
happening.
doctor specifically for that?
I don't know.
That's another question I feel like is just glossed over in all this.
I don't know what's going on in Paris in the late 1800s that this was a thing that they had doctors for. So Isabella remained in Talbot County once she got back from Paris until her death in 1911. She was 70 at that time, and she was buried in the Owens and Holmes Cemetery near Woodland.
Did these events continue throughout her whole life?
It doesn't really. I mean, she was thought of pretty well in the community. She was well liked. Nothing is mentioned about her hand again, and nothing is mentioned about people being like, "Hey, could you not eat my sheep?" So, I don't know whether her mom just kept it a secret and she kind of was like, "I'm fine during the day, whatever." Don't know.
It sounds very southern. I'm fine.
I'm
Everything's
fine.
fine.
Everything is
It's all
fine.
fine here.
Yeah, I just, I
That's
mean,
very southern.
what's a sheep here and there among friends? Bless her heart.
Oh, okay.
The story has endured, obviously, but there are people who think that it's a hoax or it was never true at all. And they say that the skeptics say that newspaper reports from the time claim that the attacks were the result of a rabid wild animal and nothing more, and that Paris trip was to visit relatives and friends, not to see a doctor who treated lycanthropy. But one of the Burt relatives, who was an English professor who taught at a community college in Atlanta, says that it's possible that the Paris trip was to see a doctor for her condition, but it's likely the family would have said that she's visiting friends and family in Paris. And of course, they're not going to actually tell you why she was really seeing a doctor because they didn't do that at that point in time. They didn't, I mean, if you were unwed and pregnant, or if you were having issues with a mental illness, they didn't say, "Oh, she's going to a hospital." They would say, "Oh, she's out of town visiting a sick relative." They would lie. They would lie. So
Yeah, any inconvenient situation a woman would find herself in would just be she's visiting relatives.
yeah, well, not necessarily women too if it's a mental illness, but definitely women. So yeah, so that's the story of the Talbot County werewolf, and whether or
All
not
right.
it's true is entirely up to you. And whether or not she was actually a werewolf, or a girl who just thought she was a werewolf, or just liked, I don't know, chasing sheep and ripping their throats out. I'm not really sure, but I don't judge. I mean, I judge. I judge.
You do judge.
I definitely judge.
You judge so much.
I do. It's true. Don't rip the throats out of sheep with your teeth, please.
Are you asking me specifically or just putting it out there generally?
Just generally don't. It wasn't a
Okay.
question. It was a command.
Gotcha. We're doing commands now. Great.
I mean, I've been doing that for how long now? How long have you known me when I've just commanded strangers to do things?
Right. It's weird that they do it.
It's a little bit weird, but it generally, y'all, don't do that.
Yeah. Don't do that. If you were considering it, Zandi will judge you.
Well,
And so I wanted to talk about the Watcher of the Altamaha River. Altamaha, I think. So sorry. There's a nickname. It gets better. So generations of locals tell stories about something that lives beneath the surface, named, and I'm so glad that it's this nickname because, that's how I did with the name. The nickname is Altie.
okay.
Going forward, it's Altie. The Altamaha River is one of the largest undammed rivers in the United States. It cuts through Georgia and empties into the marshes and estuaries near Darien, which is a historic shrimping town, and that's where the legend is the strongest. The river is really diverse in its wildlife. There are manatees, which I would not have expected to be a part of Georgia, and sturgeon, and just kind of everything that you would expect to find in all of these environments. And apparently a monster. The earliest stories come from European settlers in the 1700s. Sightings were described then of large, unknown aquatic animals in the river's mouth. They were vaguely described then as having long back, dark shapes, and sometimes just something moving against the current that was not a fish or log. Regional historian Bud Merritt collected several of these stories in local archives. The descriptions stayed consistent through the years, even like same as way back in the 1700s coming down into the present time. Like they've stayed pretty much the same in, the activity and the description of the physical appearance. Those consistencies have continued despite cultural differences in the people who are passing the legend on. So obviously a variety of people are seeing this, looking at the time frames that have come through. Obviously there have been, different groups of people and they've all shared those descriptions. Sightings became more frequent and more detailed in the 20th century because we were just recording things more then, I think. Altie is usually described as 30 feet long, though some stories, have said shorter. Dark gray or black. A very long neck is mentioned. A sturgeon-like body, so it's in some places and ridged in others. And it's seen rolling, diving, or generally disturbing the water in, quote, ways no known creature should, unquote. So just being a menace, basically.
Sounds like an alligator.
I mean, yeah, that's likely. There are a lot of possible explanations that, we'll get to, but these are the sightings that we've got so far. There have been several documented sightings, and a lot of them are by people who have seen alligators and they've seen manatees, they've seen these things, and so they know generally what they look like. And those people are saying, it's not what this is. 70s and 80s, boaters near Darien and around Cathead Creek often reported seeing a large creature surfacing quickly and then disappearing. Many of these accounts were printed in the Brunswick News and local newsletters, so it's really documented. One of the more famous accounts comes from a fisherman named James or Jimmy Poteet. He reported seeing a creature with a long snake-like head rise from the water, and that matched earlier accounts. In 2002, two college students in a small boat near Fort King George watched something large and dark follow them at a distance before it just sank beneath the surface and they kind of went their separate ways. They said it moved deliberately and was too smooth to be a log. In 2010, people on the shore have seen it. And in 2010, a man was walking along the shore and he claimed that he saw something pass by that was so large, it created a wake like a speedboat, but there were no speedboats nearby. And there has not been a definitive explanation for those particular sightings, but there have been some ideas passed around about what Altie could be, just kind of based on the general descriptions and activity. Biologists and wildlife officials have offered possibilities, and none of them have actually been proven right or wrong, and they don't seem to fully match the consistently described long-necked, vertically moving shape that so many witnesses claim. But here are their possibilities. Manatees were given as a possible explanation because they can surface in unexpected ways. And also, what the heck are manatees doing in Georgia? Alligator gar is another one. That is a really large fish. They can reach up to 8 feet long. I know you said alligators specifically.
Well, they are ridged and smoothed in places, and they do a death roll that would be.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about those things. But what about the long neck?
They don't have a long neck, but I feel like some
Yeah.
of the sightings are some things, and some of the sightings are probably other things.
I think both things can be true.
Yes.
Could some of them have been mistaken? Absolutely. But could some of them have been legitimately something else? Probably, because that's a lot.
Yeah.
One explanation offered, this was my favorite one, it was even dramatically breaching sturgeon. And that's how it was written. So fish being dramatic is what this was. I think I saw a monster. Oh no, that's just the sturgeon being extra.
Yeah.
And of course, simple misidentification under poor visibility has also been given as a possibility, which some of them probably are.
Yeah.
So the legend lives on, and you decide for yourself. I'm definitely not going to discount anyone's experience because there's a lot of possibilities. So, unlike a lot of cryptids, Altie is not seen as a threatening figure. It's kind of a resident, like Hugging Molly was in Alabama. They embrace the legend in Darien, especially, but kind of just in that general area. Altie shows up in local art, books, tourism brochures. She does not have its own festival yet, but is highlighted in other yearly events like the Blessing of the Fleet and the Darien Fall Festival. There is also a 20-foot sculpture of Altie in the Darien Visitor Information Center. Going out onto the water in search of Altie is listed as one of the things to do for tourists, and it does get a lot of hopefuls out on the water searching for, ripples moving against the current or for shadows that shouldn't be there. Whatever it is that you think Altie is, an undiscovered species, misidentified wildlife, an actual monster who has found a place for themselves, or maybe just a story that's been passed down, the Altamaha remains one of Georgia's most steadfast mysteries. So, if you find yourself wandering around the shoreline of the Altamaha River, remember that something might be watching you back. And so, Zandi, you have some pirates to tell us about, right?
I do. So the Pirate's House is located in one of the more historic areas of Georgia. It's in Savannah. It is located in the Trustees Garden, which is the first public agricultural experimental garden in America. It was actually part of it was the Herb House, which was built in 1734 and is one of the oldest structures in Georgia, which is really interesting. By about 1753, Georgia was a colony at the time. It had become pretty firmly established, and the need for experimental gardens was no longer there. So the area was developed into a residential section. See, Savannah is kind of weird. It was developed by General Oglethorpe, and he had this idea that every house in Savannah would have a garden plot just outside of the city. So he did this whole experimental garden thing where you'd have like a garden and herb plot outside of the city, and that way everybody, even when you lived inside the town, would be able to grow their own food, their own vegetables.
In the 79, that seems pretty wise.
Yeah, it does.
It's wise now, but
It is.
you think it would be necessary at that point.
Yeah, so he did that. Savannah had become kind of a thriving seaport town, and of course, one of the first buildings that they were going to be constructing in this area that was like a former garden is an inn for visiting sailors. It was built about a block away from the Savannah River, and the building kind of remained intact through the centuries, but fell into disuse after World War II. It was acquired by the Savannah Gas Company in 1945, and it was kind of dilapidated and sad. It was slated for demolition. But Mrs. Mary Hillier, who was the wife of the president of the Savannah Gas Company, along with some of her local lady friends, decided to take it on themselves and restore some of the older buildings from General Oglethorpe's vision of Savannah, which is kind of cool. Let's restore some of the old things and preserve how they were originally decorated. So this pirate house, they even put back what they call haint blue shutters, which were painted this way, and door, which were painted this way to keep spirits away.
So it's a specific spirit blocking color?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's kind of cool. And it's called Haint Blue.
Yeah.
Many tales have been told about the pirate house, and it was mentioned in the novel Treasure Island. It was the first part of it. The herb house was built in 1734, as I said, but structures to either side of it were built in 1794 and 1871. So the whole building is very old. And the fact that it's been maintained and kept up and renovated and everything is pretty cool.
So it's still standing and still functional.
It is. It's actually a restaurant now, and I want to go there and get the
Cool.
shrimp and grits because they looked really good.
Okay.
So we're
Shrimp
gonna
and
go.
grits date.
Yeah,
let's do it.
absolutely. Savannah's gorgeous anyway. We need to go on some of the haunted tours, and
Because Savannah is actually really pretty.
it is.
Ben,
So
it's pretty. I didn't
yeah.
go to that restaurant.
No,
Oh,
I
we
didn't
have to go
either.
back.
We have to. Yeah, absolutely. It said that there were actually tunnels from underneath the pirate's house that was an inn at the time that led to the Savannah River, and they were allegedly used by pirates and privateers to waylay people and stalk their crews with unsuspecting men. I guess if it was military, it would be a press gang, but since it was pirates, I don't know if it still counts as being press. I mean, yeah, so people would be drugged and they would wake up on a ship out like 2 miles offshore and they would just be screwed. Like, this is their life now. Hi, you're a pirate. I know yesterday you were hauling goods back and forth, but today you're a pirate. So let's hope we don't get boarded.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
When they wake up, be like, hey, good morning. Guess who's a pirate? You.
Here's your eye patch and a peg leg.
Surprise.
Surprise! You only get the parrot in the hat once you have completed your first year of service.
Oh my goodness. So if you go to eat in the restaurant, is there a chance you will still be surprise pirated?
So I think there's like some piratey things that go on at the restaurant. Like, I don't know whether like people like staff dress as pirates or what, because I haven't been there, but I kind of want to. But no, the tunnels have been collapsed if they were ever there to start with. No more tunnels. But there were tunnels like all over underneath Savannah, so it's entirely possible.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think we should dress like pirates when we go.
I agree. And I am all for this, and we will do this. I like this plan.
Add it to the list.
Yeah.
Most of our plans involve food or spa treatments.
Food, spa treatments, and costumes.
Well, the costumes are like a given.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to be dressed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm here for it. So the most famous legend is of a local police officer who had stopped by the pirate's house for a drink, and he woke up on a four-masted schooner sailing for China. And it took him 2 years to make his way back to Savannah, which, you know,
oh, poor guy.
Coming back 2 years later is like impressive because most of them don't come back at all.
Oh.
Yeah. So at least he made his way back.
Like, they don't come back because they don't survive, or they don't come back because they're like, this is the life for me. And they, continue.
Pirate's life for me.
I know. My question remains is because they've changed their ways. They're like, yeah, I'm doing this. Or is it because they are, unalived?
I don't know if it's because they're killed or if it's because they want to be pirates or if it's because they just can't escape.
Huh. I wonder at what point it stops becoming a hostage situation. Be like, listen, Jimmy, I've been a pirate for a year now. You don't have to sleep as the big spoon to make sure I don't get away. Like, I'm in this now. Calm down.
I don't know. I mean, the Dread Pirate Roberts was like a pirate for 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And the one before him, I think, was only there for like 12.
Maybe ever.
I am off track again. So they did find a secret chamber with no known purpose that was underneath the house, and they have found pages from a very rare and early edition of Treasure Island inside the house.
Oh, cool.
Stevenson was said to have visited Savannah and stopped by the tavern. So it's kind of the perfect location for a pirate captain's death. So it makes sense that Captain Flint would be based on an individual that Stevenson met in the tavern, or just the spirit of the tavern itself, the inn. So there have been accounts of Flint's spirit being seen in the pirate's house. And since he's fictional, it's kind of like, was this based on somebody who was there, or was this residual energy brought into the inn kind of a manifestation that brought the character to life? Well, not life, but...
Okay.
Like, I mean, was it based on a spirit that Stevenson saw? Was it based on a real dude that
Ooh,
Stevenson saw? Was it, what is it? But Captain Flint, people say they have seen him,
interesting.
which is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. People do claim they see. It's like either based on somebody or it's concentrated negative energy that has turned into this fantastical fictional character. Or if the scarred ghost was somebody that Stevenson saw. It's just really not clear.
Honestly, possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they say that the basement is full of a heavy and unpleasant air. It's especially unsettling, and one employee complained about being physically affected with dizziness and nausea anytime she went down there. So that's the closest thing that you have to the tunnels is the basement because the tunnels are collapsed.
the ghosts are trying to make her a pirate.
Maybe. Other manifestations, they have some one-off occurrences. Like there's somebody who saw a Victorian era woman spotted outside. But there's a lot of things that aren't one-offs that people say. There have been many sightings of people saying they have seen former seamen wandering the building, like people dressed like just sailors, not necessarily pirates, because there were just sailors that came in and out. Because that's the main patronage of the area of the time. So
Right.
they do see former seamen wandering the building. So guests have reported hearing strange noises, such as the sounds of heavy boots moving around after closing time, or disembodied voices calling out for ale or more food or what have you.
Could you imagine you're closing up and like trying to get out the door and someone's like screaming for ale? The way I would yell back at that ghost, like, you know what? No,
No,
get it yourself.
sir, we are closed. Your
I have
ship
clocked
is.
out. You saw it.
So there's a distinct sound of boots on plank floors, which the floors are not plank, I don't think, anymore. And then there's been a lot of people who say that they have seen sailors from long ago standing there looking right into their eyes and then fading into nothing. And this happens all the time.
Ooh, okay. I want
Yeah.
to steal that cool ghost move when I get to be a ghost.
Yeah,
Just show up with
absolutely.
heavy eye contact and just
Just to
briefly stare,
slowly vanish. Yeah,
slowly go away.
right.
Full eye contact though.
Oh, absolutely. The whole time. People have reported eerie presences. I don't know what that means. If it's something they've seen, or if it's just a feeling of being watched, or like somebody standing over their shoulder feeling, that kind of thing. But people have seen also shadow figures, shadow people, which I do not like. I do not like that part, but we're still going to go. Staff and visitors have also reported objects moving on their own and glasses being pushed off of shelves, which is,
That's rude.
yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't answer that call for ale, all of a sudden now you've got to sweep up glass.
Those are the consequences. All
Those are the
right.
consequences of your actions. So that is the Pirate's House in Savannah, Georgia. And we're going to go. We're going to have shrimp and grits.
Yay.
Because those are cheese grits too. And that is the best thing.
Well, obviously.
Obviously.
So
All right.
we were discussing wanting to do, more personal stories. So our email is attached to
Yes.
this. So if you have stories that you would like to talk about or you'd like us to look into, please send us an email. I know some people have, and we have definitely not only made some friends there, but been able to find things we might not have otherwise found. So please join that and send us an email about your experience, and we'd love to talk to you.
Absolutely. It's tenebrous.tingles@gmail.com. And we would love to hear your personal stories too, even if they're not something that we can find historical documentation for. We just love to hear your personal stories.
Yes, absolutely.
Next time, where are we going to be?
Hawaii.
And that's going to be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to starting to research some cryptids for Hawaii.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you for joining us for Tenebrous Tingles, and we will see you next time for Hawaii.
Bye.